Good greetings. All right, today I am reading day 15 of the Science of Mind in 1 Year textbook, that is. All right, this section is entitled, Where Do We Get Our Mental Impressions? The paramount problem of philosophy now as in the past is how and from whence do we get our mental impressions? Kant says, we are able to perceive an object because it awakens an intuitive perception within us. How could it awaken an intuitive perception within us unless the medium which created the object already existed within us? The intuitive perception was not the result of perceiving the object, but was itself the cause of the object perceived. This is what Emerson would have us understand when he says, there is one mind common to all individual men. That which is apparently outside can become known to the individual through intuition, because the perception and the perceiver must be in one and the same mind. No object can appear to exist in the objective world unless there is first a subjective world to perceive the object. There is no object on the outside of reality, but reality must be an infinite perceiver or an infinite mind, one mind common to all men. The Bible says, in him we live and move and have our being. Him, it, or God. Jesus said reality is not in the mountain, nor afar off, but within us. So without trying to define, without making any attempt to explain, we make the simple statement, mine is. Mine is, and mine is both universal and individual, i.e., it is not only universal and abstract, it is also individual and concrete. The mind which is personified is the same mind which is universal. This is the perception that Buddha, Jesus, and other great spiritual leaders had. They understood that the universe has to be one in order to be at all. Jesus saw it when he said, in substance, if I cast out devils by Beelzebub, the prince of devils, that is a house divided against itself, which cannot stand. And he also said, who have seen me have seen the Father. Jesus had arrived at a perception of oneness. Images of thought, although they appear to arise from without, actually arise from the objective side of that which is part of a subjective within. In order that nature may be coherent and come into self-expression, there must be an objective, a manifest world. But that which is physically outside of us still exists in the same medium in which we have our being, and the intelligence by which we perceive it is the same intelligence that created it. Therefore, while it is objectively separate, it is subjectively unified. Our images of thought arise from within a medium in which both the one who sees and that which is seen exists in a state of inner unity. God exists in everything. God exists in me, and because God exists in me, I am able to recognize other things in whom God exists. spirit is the medium through which I am conscious of myself, of others, and of my environment. The next section is reading thought. Recognizing that we are surrounded by a universal mind, it does not seem strange that certain people should sense our thoughts even when we are not aware of the fact, because thought operates through a medium which is universal, always present. It is almost certain that between friends there is at all times a silent communication, a sort of unconscious mental conversation going on. When this arises to the surface of the conscious intelligence, it is called mental telepathy. This communication with others is going on all the time, whether the conscious mind is aware of it or not. These impressions are more or less vague and seldom come to the surface. They are there, nevertheless, and are gradually building into our mentalities impressions and forms of thought that are unconsciously and silently perceived. This all leads to the conclusion that what we call our subjective mind is really the use that we, as individuals, make of the universal subjectivity. Just as radio messages are operative through a universal medium, so our thoughts are operative through a universal medium. That's the end of today's reading for the 15th day of Science of Mind textbook in a year. God bless.